Well, Ottawa has crept within a point of a playoff spot and within 6 points of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So big game for both teams tonight. Craig Anderson has played in 14 of the last 15 Senators games. Not quite as airtight as he was last season, but he hasn't lost outright in his last 4. Jonathan Bernier makes his 35th start for Toronto. His most as a pro was 58 starts 5 years ago in the American Hockey League, and the way they're using him right now, it's a pretty good bet that he'll get to that many in the National Hockey League this season with Toronto. And you've already been introduced to the referees tonight. Paul Dvorsky in his 1500th game. That's a lot of whistle blown and a lot of getting yelled at, and he's got a good veteran crew of friends working with him tonight, including his brother Greg, who will work the lines. Ottawa Senators are going to start a line that has been really solid. A good tough line with Zach Smith at center, Chris Neil on the right side, and Colin Greening on the left. So Colton Orr is on the ice for Toronto, and he and Chris Neil are already shoulder to shoulder. Jay McClement in the middle, and for some reason Mason Raymond is over on the right side, so there could be fireworks early. Neil and Orr still together as Eric Gryba gets to center and dumps the puck in. The Leaf defensive pair, Cody Franson and Jake Gardner. Gryba plays with Mark Mathot. And the Leafs in their own zone will try and move out. Or couldn't get the puck out. Chris Neil kept it in. There's Colin Green. Rings the puck around for Neil to go after against Colton Orr. And again, Toronto doesn't get it out. And a shot just wide by Gryba. Mathot keeps the puck in for Greening. He's got Neil in front of the net. Good start for Ottawa as Gryba holds the puck in. Neil against Colton Orr again. They've been shoulder to shoulder since the drop of the puck. Now Cody Franson takes over. Can the Leafs finally get out of their own zone? Well, they will now because Ottawa makes a change.
Boy, it almost backfired on the Leafs there, though. Colton Orr is a right winger. He was playing the left side because of Neil, and twice he could not get the puck out of his own zone, and that created a scoring chance for the Senators.
Leafs come back with the Nazem Kadri line up against the Kyle Turris line. The Turris line is really Ottawa's #1 now with Clark MacArthur and Bobby Ryan on the wings, but this line has come alive for Toronto. Kadri playing with Nikolai Kulemin and Joffrey Lupul. 6 points in their last game as Turris stops up, beats former Leaf MacArthur, and he gets the puck around out of the reach of Bobby Ryan. Carlson with a shot keeps it in. The indefatigable Erik Karlsson on the ice with his usual partner, Jared Cowan. How much will Erik play tonight? Karlsson with a shot that's blocked, and Kulemin goes after the puck, and he'll bounce it out to center just out of the reach of Nazem Kadri. Top defensive pair of Gunnarsson and Phaneuf on the ice against Turris line, and that shows a lot of respect for Kyle Turris and his group.
Boy, if those two lines play head-to-head all night, there would be a lot of chances at both ends. As you mentioned, both very hot.
Jason Spezza, he's been very hot lately. McCulloch hasn't been, and he backhanded the puck just wide of the net. But this is another line with a 19 on it, like Toronto's, that's started to show some life. Spezza with 2 great games this week. 4 points against Columbus and Tampa. And here he is after the puck. McCulloch in front, off his skate. He couldn't get the shot. James Van Riemsdyk steps in. So Toronto's top line is on the ice now. Van Riemsdyk, Bozak, and Phil Kessel. 27 goals moving in on Eric Gryba. Smith left the puck behind. There's Matt Kassian. He get into the lineup tonight. Stefan DeCosta was scratched, and there's an obvious reason why Kassian gets in. A couple of them, actually. Fraser McLaren and Colton Orr. Kassian looks up, dumps the puck in, and Greg McKegg is on the ice for his first National Hockey League shift from St. Thomas, Ontario, wearing number 39 for the Leafs.
Well, Jim, with so much discussion of starting lineups and the impact it can have on games, as we saw in Vancouver, Calgary game, this one a little bit of chatting, but here's the play, a tough one for Colton Orr. He's on his offside, he's not accustomed to making plays, and it almost bit the Toronto Maple Leafs in the back end there as he couldn't get it out, and a nice job of getting the puck in by Ottawa.
Orr and Fraser McLaren are on the ice now with Jay McClement, a 4th line shift for Toronto with a face-off in the attacking zone. Zach Smith, a very good face-off man, but McLaren beat him. Gardner just keeps the puck into the shot off the boards, and Anderson played it to the corner. Cody Ceci got bumped by Jay McClement. Fraser McLaren left the puck behind. Now he gets it to Cody Franson, takes the shot, blocked before it got to the net. Cody Ceci blocked that. Colton Orr and Jay McClement converge upon the puck. Zach Smith gets it to Kassian. And Edmonton native Kassian gets to center, took a cross check from Colton Orr, and they slash at each other as they make a change. Jake Gardiner with the shoot it into the glove of Craig Anderson, and he stops play 3.5 minutes in, and we'll go down between the benches where there might be some fireworks tonight, and Glenn Healy.
Yes, the pictures you see are me ducking, and why wouldn't I duck when you've got two guys like Colton Orr and Kassian going at it right in front of you? You know there's going to be some fireworks. You're right, Dewey. It's pretty obvious why Kassian's in the lineup, and I would have no doubt before the end of the night it's either Neil, Colton Orr, or Kassian. They're going to have a little square dance.
Leafs win the draw here. Dion Phaneuf with a shot. That was tipped right on, and Anderson had to make a difficult save after a deflection. Now Kyle Turris line on the ice, and again, Randy Carlyle matches up Nazem Kadri. So a big assignment for Kadri, who's been playing extremely well, but he's got to play against an excellent line, one of the best in the NHL tonight. Joffrey Lupul lofts the puck to center. Cowan and Carlson. Carlson's pass up the middle. Kadri got to that and spun off a check, but couldn't control the puck. Dion Phaneuf. Kadri. And now Carlson cuts Phaneuf off, but Kadri got the puck, had it swept away by Clark MacArthur. And out comes Bobby Ryan. He advances the puck for Turris, who tried to give it back, but it was blocked by Dion Phaneuf. Kadri's back defensively. Ryan to MacArthur. Centering pass, and it's gobbled up here by Phil Kessel, who darts out to center. Gets a return pass from Lupul, and takes a shot that's blocked by Mark Methot. Methot and Greiba have become a shutdown pair playing against top lines for Ottawa. Senators' defense has really improved since the start of the season. Early in the season, they couldn't get out of each other's way, couldn't get out of their own zone, but they've improved that considerably. There's Zach Smith playing lots early. Greening with a shot, that's blocked. And behind the play, Kessel had his stick chopped in half in a little dispute with Eric Greiba.
Hey, a lot of yapping going on, as you mentioned, and Glenn, you'll have your mute button on most of the night between those two benches with these two teams. And here's where it started, though, a little stick to the gut, good engagement down there, and Kessel didn't like the slash to the foot, and at the end of the day, Kessel ends up with a broken stick.
Well, the Ottawa Senators, they're using their points, and why wouldn't they, in the year-long quest to have 8 guys in the crease and insulate your goaltender. The points are open for Ottawa. They've directed 3 shots at the net. The Leafs have to do a little bit better job of getting in lanes. All it takes is a shot, a screen, a tip, and Ottawa will get the advantage. And they've got guys at their back end that can score, and one who's on the ice now in number 65.
13 goals for Erik Karlsson, the leading defenseman in scoring in the National Hockey League. 4 on 4 here. Coincidental penalties to Eric Greiba and Phil Kessel. Condra and Karlsson are on the ice, and Tyler Bozak is chasing Jared Cowan, and he legs the puck out to center. He's 1 on 4 now, gets it deep and keeps at it. Tim Gleason comes over and takes him out of the play, and his partner Morgan Riley comes up with a puck. He'll join the rush quickly to center. Bozak, Riley leads the rush, and the pass to him was knocked away by Spezza. Picked up by James Van Riemsdyk. In for Bozak, looks out front and sees Morgan Riley in front of the net. Now he backs off to the blue line, takes the pass, and can't keep it inside the blue line. Leafs will have to tag up here. Van Riemsdyk will do that, making a change. Karlsson waits for fresh troops to arrive on Armed Forces Night. Up the middle, Corey Conacher. Zibanejad is with it. Mika Zibanejad back at center ice tonight in all likelihood, and Joffrey Lupul plays the puck to Nazem Kadri, who gave it away. Zibanejad accepted the gift and played it back into his own zone. Cody Ceci watched from out front by Kadri. 3 Leafs hang back. And now Methot leads the way for Ottawa to center. Dumps the puck in. Conacher goes after it, so does Zibanejad. Jake Gardiner back for Toronto. His partner Cody Franson with an outlet, tipped off a stick. Ceci keeps it in. Zibanejad with a shot wide of the net. Conacher back in front, a bouncing puck. Went off a leg right to Jonathan Bernier, and he covers up. Still more 4-on-4 hockey to come on Hockey Night in Canada on CBC, and you'll see an awful lot of him tonight.
Well, we talked about his offensive prowess, but defensively, he's excellent too. Take a look here. Takes a little look over his shoulder, takes a snapshot of the ice. He's always in good defensive position. Then, again, another snapshot of the ice. Look to your left. Here come the troops, as you mentioned, Huey. And okay, now I've got a full roster. Let's go. Game on. So offensive numbers are incredible, but what he does without he can skate himself out of trouble and into trouble anytime he wants. What a phenomenal, dominant defenseman.
Almost a year after the serious Achilles injury, he really looks like he's back now. Skating extremely well. He's had 40 games over 25 minutes, 9 over 30, and the most he's played is 34-45 in a game this season. Here's Nikolai Kulemin trying to attack Karlsson. Couldn't. Greiba got the puck out. He and Kessel have served their time. And it's 5-on-5 again. Ottawa was changing. Jay McClement into the attacking zone. Couldn't take the puck with him. Kulemin in for Kessel and back to Dion Phaneuf. He's got a man open on the other side, but takes the shot. It bounces through. Kulemin can't bury it. Another chance, and it's loose in front. And picked up by Clark MacArthur. Quickly up to center, 3-on-2. Hits the defenseman. Method shoots, and he missed the net. Great chance for Ottawa. 3-on-2 after the Leafs almost struck with Kulemin in front of the net. Greiba holds the puck in along the boards. Bobby Ryan back to Greiba again, and he passes off. Kyle Turris, nifty backhand pass. Turris again with a shot. He missed the net as the pace of this game picks up. Patrick Wierkosh backing up. Eric Greiba. Leafs are changing. So is Ottawa. Colin Greening, sharp angle shot through the puck in front. And Tyler Bozak takes over. Van Riemsdyk ahead of him. Lupul is out there as well. Wierkosh is back. Van Riemsdyk hooked the puck to the front of the net. Zach Smith got to it. Up the boards to center. And the play is stopped as the puck was knocked out of the air by a high stick. What a chance for Nikolai Kulemin. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Anderson couldn't quite get a grip on it, but Kulemin couldn't either.
Got a real good chance for the Leafs, and then down the other end, Mark Method gets a real good chance. The Clark MacArthur pass, a thing of beauty, just misses the net. There's always something a little bit more on the line when MacArthur plays against the Leafs. Anytime you want to talk about Randy Carlyle with Clark, he doesn't hesitate to tell you, we didn't get along.
Well, he really gets along with his new line mates. Kyle Turris and Bobby Ryan. Where would that team in Ottawa be without that line? They've been as effective as the Bozak line in Toronto. Both teams really rely on one line to do most of the scoring. Here's Eric Condra for Ottawa. Spezza with a shot, and Jonathan Bernier gobbled that up. I don't think Spezza got all of that. Not as hard a shot as he wanted. Jason's game has really started to come around.
Even though he's a right-hand shot and the puck is in a pretty good spot, it's still not a dangerous place to score from, particularly the way Bernier's playing. You're on your off foot, you're about 45 feet from the net, relatively easy save. And you're right, though, Huey, when you look at the Leafs, I mean, their top 6 scorers are their top 2 lines, so they are really dependent on a few guys to make it happen.
Both teams need a second line to score. Both teams are seeing that start to happen as Spezza comes alive and as Kadri's line starts to play better for Toronto.
I needed a second headset to get back into this game, so I can actually talk now and you can hear me.
I wondered where you went.
Yeah, I just sort of took a vacation.
Early trip to Sochi.
An icing call against Toronto. Take your game to the next level with Hockey Night in Canada's Second Screen. Interact and compete for prizes. Be a part of our broadcast. Join us at cbcsports.ca/second screen. There's Spezza's line. He's got Eric Condra with him now and Milan McCulloch. It's a bit of a different look. They'd had Mika Zibanejad playing the wing on this line, but he's back at center tonight with DaCosta out of the lineup. All of that to facilitate Matt Kassian and his toughness getting in.
Yeah, you really need some forwards who can get some pucks to the net for Spezza. McCulloch hasn't scored in 11 and Greening hadn't scored in 10, so maybe try to shake things up and get some offense from that line.
Here's Erik Karlsson. Dumps the puck in. McCulloch will go after it. Condra follows and gets a hold of the puck. Nice play by McCulloch, but he was stopped by Jonathan Bernier. A shot by Cowan was knocked down, and the Leafs top line tries to break out, but a pass for Phil Kessel was knocked down by Spezza. Karlsson bides his time. Spezza with a tip in, and he heads for the bench on a change. Tim Gleason and Morgan Riley playing together. The Leafs had Riley and Jake Gardner playing together, but they both wanted to rush at the same time, so they've got different partners right now, more stay-at-home partners.
I think it's a good compliment for both, though. I think Gleason will allow Riley to be a little bit more aggressive, and the same thing for Franson with Gardner.
Right, because when they were together, they'd look up and see the other guy
The
right
other
beside
guy's there.
him, right in front of the net.
Leading
Joffrey Lupulchek.
Leading the 2-on-1 going the other way.
Mark Mafat. Kyle Turris out against Kadri's line once again. Joffrey Lupul is regrouping with some speed, but Kadri's turned back by Greening. And Ottawa's changing. Carl Gunnarsson through the middle of the ice. The match game is on here as Zach Smith and his line come on against the Kadri group. Greening. After Smith turned and found the puck, couldn't quite get it on his stick. Now he goes to the net and just missed a tip-in attempt. Erik Karlsson. Pass to Greening, he turns to the point, all sorts of time, big shot by Cowan, got blocked. Another chance for Jared Cowan to Zach Smith, Colin Greening into the crowd, just missed the net. On the other side, Karlsson stick, abandoned him, Neal with a shot, that was blocked before it got to the net. Leafs in a little trouble against this grind line of Ottawa's.
And Colton Orr had to find a way to get back to the bench after blocking that shot, could barely skate himself off.
Jake Gardner to Cody Franson. Watched by Zibanejad. Gardner carries the puck in, and he carried it in offside. This game awaits its first goal past the midway mark of the first period on Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto. Well, Glenn, the Leafs had a bit of a fire drill in their own end for that last shift, but they got out of it unscathed.
Yeah, it's the handoff between the goaltender and the defense. Here, Bernier, you either play it or you leave it. And him and Morgan Riley discussed it in the timeout. Get out of the way. And if you're going to play with Morgan Riley, Tim Gleason, give him the puck. I mean, Senators love to have you carry the mail, but you got to give it to Morgan Riley. And then because of that run around in their own zone, it's Colton Orr who blocks a shot and then leaves the bench. That hurts. Almost want them to keep their lines intact, all right? The Kadri line's going. I don't know why you want to put Colton on the right wing, keep Mason Raymond there. The club's producing points.
Here's Gunnarsson with a shot that was knocked down before it got through, and the Kadri line's out against the Turris line again. Clark MacArthur. Bobby Ryan can't put the puck in the net, made a great move and got wiped out. Now he's in the corner without his stick. He tripped over the goaltender, it looked like. There's Jared Cowan. In for Ryan, almost tripped up by Dion Phaneuf. Turris with a shot, and Bernier settles things down and stops play.
Good aggressive play by Ryan. The right-hand shot coming down the left side. He does a nice backhand power move to take it hard to the net. Cuts across and then receives a nice pass, kicks it up, and then he thought he could get right across the net and stuff it to that far side. But a nice job by Bernier getting the stick in there, get a bit of the body, and keep the puck out of the net.
Perfect view of it on our LASIK MD net cam behind Jonathan Bernier. Bobby broke out of a slump with a goal against Tampa the other night. He doesn't look very happy that he missed that one. Senators get the draw. Zibanejad back out here with Jason Spezza and Milan McCulloch. So lots of line juggling early. Here's Kessel on his off wing. Stops up, cross ice. Riley with a shot, a weak one wide of the net. Gleason on the other side holds the puck in for Toronto. Kessel, Riley shoots, missed the net, and the puck deflects out of play.
Boy, you see just how dangerous Phil Kessel is right now. He's on one of those hot streaks that you see from the Leaf forward, but it starts in his own zone. Defensively, gets the puck, and look at the quick acceleration. Just gets by his man, forces that speed of Zibanejad, and then the stop up and cross ice. And had Greiba not come back and done a nice job on Van Riemsdyk, that might have been a tap-in.
The issue to me, though, guys, 2 shots missed the net by Morgan Riley.
Yeah.
The Leafs only have 3 shots. All 3 of them are by Dion Phaneuf. I think you got to get some more players involved in the offense here. We're 12 minutes into the game, and your big boys haven't got a shot.
Same could be said at the other end, though. Ottawa's missed the net a few times, too. I guess the nets are smaller this year. Bernier's out to play the puck. Cody Franson. To Gardner. Mason Raymond's job to get this out. He'll turn back against Cody Ceci. There's Greg McKegg, number 39, playing with Troy Bodie. And Mason Raymond. McKegg called up from Marley's, put onto a third line.
You saw a nice short shift there. He did his job in the defensive zone. jumped up ice, but the one thing in your first game, you don't want to get caught out late.
Kadri up the middle, taken down. Penalty coming up against Ottawa. So Nazem Kadri has drawn the game's first penalty. And the Toronto Maple Leafs will get the first power play, as Neil has some words for Kadri, probably giving him the business about going down so easily.
If you look at Paul McLean, he's having a little talk with Dvorsky as well. And here's the shot afterwards on the top of the head of Kadri as Neil went back at him.
Watch Kessel. One way to stop a guy is to trip him. How about this for acceleration? Look at the spray of snow. That is stopping on a dime. Pretty good picture there. Powerful, explosive stride.
8th in the league in scoring now on a hot streak. He hasn't had too many cold ones. He's only had one 5-game streak where he hasn't scored this season. And he's out on this power play that is the best in the league on home ice. Kessel, Bozak, Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk has been tremendous in front of the net. Cody Franson, Dion for the appointment.
And Jim, during this streak for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it hasn't been their defensive game that's been winning. It's been offense. They've been scoring goals, and when you've got 11 goals out of your power play in the last 11 games, it gives you a chance to win.
Pretty good passing as Franson gets the puck in deep, and Phaneuf is in behind the net. Battling there with Greiba. Milan McCulloch gave the puck away to Kessel. Van Riemsdyk assumes his position in front. Franson couldn't shoot. Dion Phaneuf won't shoot. Franson looks at the net. The pass for Van Riemsdyk was tipped before it got through. Kessel slammed against the boards by Colin Greening, who takes the puck and starts out for Ottawa. He's 1-on-2 here, and he gets the puck deep. Ottawa's penalty killing 23rd in the league. Both of these teams take a lot of penalties and have trouble killing. Here's Kessel again. Kadri with him. Jake Gardner's come out, so is Morgan Rielly. Kessel to the net, tipped wide by Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk to Kessel on the other side. Rielly couldn't shoot it. Puck popped up on his stick. Now to the side of the net. The relay for Kessel, and he was on his backhand. Van Riemsdyk spotted him. Just couldn't put it in a sweet spot for him.
Yeah, Kessel was just a little bit late getting there, Jim. Had he been a second or two before, he would have had a one-timer to get a hold of that pass.
Carlson intercepted a pass and sends the Leafs back into their own zone in the last 20 seconds of the penalty to Corey Conacher for tripping Kadri. And Morgan Rielly, who's a month away from his 20th birthday, gets to center and dumps the puck in. Greiba's back. 2 Leafs right on him. Gardner's there. So is Raymond in front. Kadri couldn't kick the puck up to get a shot. Get another chance. Kadri for Lupul, and sprawling to tip that was Eric Greiba. Might have saved the goal. Conacher out of the penalty box. Chases the puck. Bernier got there first. Back the other way come the Leafs. What a move by Kadri. Then his pass went off a skate. Here comes Turris. Gunnarsson just got on the ice. So did Phaneuf. Conacher takes over. A back pass. Kadri just about ran into Joffrey Lupul and leveled it. Action is fast and furious here in this last shift.
There's offensive zone turnovers, end up with odd man rushes the other way.
Gunnarsson had his stick knocked away, and he had the presence to get the puck out to center, but his stick was slashed out of his hand, and Toronto's going back to the power play. And it's Corey Conacher who's going back to the penalty box. Second straight penalty on Hockey Night in Canada. And this power play that came oh so close in its last opportunity works again.
Well, here's why they're getting the power play. Look at this, just a tap to the hands of Gunnarsson, and he lost his stick, was able to get it out with his hand, but an easy call.
Great play by Mark Methot here to break up what would be a tap-in goal. Good stick. Hey, the last power play, the Leafs, no shots on net. That has to change on this power play.
They were going to try and pass it into the back of the net.
Not going to happen, especially when the sticks are in all the right spot, bodies are in the right spot. Sometimes it's just got to be ugly.
So more work for Greiba and Methot again, a defensive pair who really taking some of the heavy workload on the Ottawa defense. Greiba driving the puck down the ice, drove it right out of play. Host Scott Russell talks to Canadian athletes about their journey to the Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter Games on Road to the Olympics. That's Monday night at 8 on CBC TV. Not long before James Van Riemsdyk and Phil Kessel team up. I've been there on the same line together.
Yeah,
Sochi,
okay, good. Good chemistry.
Carlson had to answer a lot of questions about the Olympics today, and I don't know whether he did it on purpose or not, but he just talked about all the great pressure on the Russians at home and the Canadians, and there's no pressure for the Swedes.
Yeah, well, what a lineup that Swedish team does have. So looking forward to getting the puck dropped in Sochi.
Looking forward to watching Erik Karlsson on the big ice.
What are your thoughts on Victor Hedman, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, we watched him today in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, and he looked pretty darn good. For a guy not even on the reserve list.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it?
He's pissed somebody off.
Here's Kadri with a centering pass, then went off Mathot and then off the goaltender. And the puck is cleared right to Jonathan Bernier.
That was a good reaction by Anderson. He was expecting to go side to side, and it came right back at him.
A shoot in for the power play. Greibe gets back. Stolen away. Kessel shoots, and that's blocked by Erik Condra. Quick reaction for Van Riemsdyk as he stole the puck from Greibe. Zach Smith gets it in deep. He's with Condra on the penalty kill. Franson doesn't have a stick. Condra couldn't make him pay for it. Now the Leafs have the puck and they can break out. Nazem Kadri, Van Riemsdyk looking for Kessel. He shoots. Anderson with a nice save. Bouncing puck in front. Condra got there first and Zach Smith clears it.
Now 2 quick chances for Kessel there. The one on the nifty play by Van Riemsdyk was blocked. That one there, Anderson, good solid save.
They get better with each other all the time. Van Riemsdyk and Kessel really know where each other is going to be. Gardner. Here's Morgan Riley. Headed for the net. Couldn't get the shot away. What a burst of speed to pull away from Greeny. On the other side, here's Kadri. Greeny takes him to the boards. Lupul in deep. Referee Dan O'Halloran is down on the ice and back up as Mason Raymond gets the puck. Jake Gardner. On the other side is Riley. Goes back to Raymond. That was a mistake because Karlsson was right there and knocked the puck away. Penalty's almost over. Fact it is. Conacher's back on. Leafs are 0 for 2 with a man advantage, and that power play wasn't as good as the first one. Here's Mason Raymond again. Kadri heads for the net. Lupul comes in behind. The puck goes to the corner, and because of the angle of the shot, Gleason's out at center ice with it. Gunnarsson to Raymond, couldn't handle the pass. Bobby Ryan takes over. He's got MacArthur and Turris with him. Banned on the shoot-in, and the Leafs have the puck back.
This line for Ottawa hasn't really been able to get out there and get any offense going. For Paul McLean, it's been killers. Really affects your bench not being able to get everybody into the game.
Rierkosh got a break there as the puck bounced on Gleason and got by him. Bozak line has come back on, so Ottawa's making a change here. Spezza comes on. This time he's got Zibanejad and Conacher with him. All sorts of different combinations for Jason Spezza tonight.
And Jim, all that killing has kept Karlsson off the ice quite a bit too. It's been Mathot and Greibe have been up over 8 minutes because of all the penalty kill.
Here's Spezza winding up. He got by Kessel. Passes into the feet of Conacher. Puck taken away by Cody Franson, and he starts the Leafs back. With some speed, Nikolai Kulemin to Jake Gardner. He shoots, and a nice toe save by Craig Anderson. Corey Conacher gathers in the puck. Boy, we've seen some great speed tonight from Jake Gardner and from Morgan Riley on the other side. They both look good early in the game. Here's Greibe, jumps up and shoots, deflected wide by Dion Phaneuf. And here comes Morgan Riley, told to wheel, and he can do that. And his pass hits Kulemin in the back.
Nice job by Zach Smith there. You see him get on his horse and take away the open ice that Riley thought he had.
Just cut him off right in the neutral zone. Here's Chris Neal in the last minute with a shot. He scores! A seemingly harmless play, and the Ottawa Senators strike first. The goal from Chris Neal. 1-0 Senators.
I'm sure Glenn could speak to this after, but as a goaltender, you know when Karlsson's on the ice, you know when Spezza, you know when Ryan's there, but you don't think of a quick shot coming from Neal. And this is just a patient play in the neutral zone. The D backs off, and that allows Neal to get in, and that one just off the leg of Riley. A quick wrister by Neal.
You talk all the time about gap control for defense. A lot of times late in the period, you think of cheating a little bit. You think it's going to be a dump in. You don't think Neal's going to shoot from there. You fall asleep for a second, and you find yourself down 1-0.
And you saw from that angle, it just did go off of Riley there, so it went the opposite direction. and made it even tougher for Vernon.
Chris Neil with his 7th of the season. Ottawa with a last-minute goal. Leafs trying to get one. Raymond with a shot and a great save by Craig Anderson. Leafs think it should have been tied there and a penalty on the play. It's a hooking call.
Well, real good response shift and a makeshift line as Raymond comes up with Kadri and Lupo, and Lupo does a nice job. There's the hook by Carlson there. And what a save by Anderson as he read that quickly.
So penalty trouble early for Ottawa in the game, and Mason Raymond, what a save by Craig Anderson. Zibanejad got a piece of it, Anderson got all of it. And Carlson's gone for 2 or less.
That's a tough shot for Raymond. As you saw, he had his head up. He was looking for open net, but going across his body, didn't get it up high enough.
It's all the percentages for Anderson, right? Cover the bottom part of the net, take your chances with the top part, knowing that there's not enough time for the player to corral the puck and get it up all in the same motion.
Turris won the faceoff against Kadri. The pass to center ice from MacArthur to Turris, knocked out of the air, a hand pass, stops play. Down to 28 seconds to go in the first period.
Jim, those are 2 big draws for Kyle Turris. The last one on the last power play of Toronto, and that one there with 30-plus seconds left in the period. You get that face-off win and you alleviate the pressure.
Sort of the last area of his game to come along. He turned the corner at about 200 games in the NHL and became an offensive force and a first-line player. And it always seems to take young players as centermen a while before they get good at faceoffs. He just won another one.
You're getting your coach to trust you.
Here's Morgan Riley again with a drop pass. Mason Raymond takes a shot into traffic. He had Gardner wide open at the right point, didn't find him. Gardner wanted it too. Kadri wants the puck. Last 10 seconds of the first. Jake Gardner attacks the puck. Kadri takes over. Lupul's in front. And Mark Methot made another nice play as Gardner, the last second shot, thinks better of another attempt at it. And the first period comes to an end. Pretty even play, but Toronto did have 3 power plays, and the third one continues well into the second period. Don Cherry on a very unique Coach's Corner, hosted by Ron McLean from Sochi on Hockey Night in Canada next. Chris Neil's goal has the Ottawa Senators in front of the Toronto Maple Leafs 1-0 on Hockey Night in Canada on a cold, snowy winter night from Toronto. The Maple Leafs on their 3rd power play have a man advantage for 1:25 to start this period with Erik Karlsson in the penalty box. So more work for Eric Gryba and Mark Methot, who both played over 9 minutes of the first period killing penalties, and as the shutdown pair. Dion Phaneuf with Cody Franson on the power play. Slowly out of their own zone. Kessel, Bozak, and Van Riemsdyk up front. Van Riemsdyk takes the pass from Phaneuf. Trying to pull away from Zach Smith. Can't get away from Gryba. Now Van Riemsdyk with an errant pass that chases Franson back into his own zone.
He had broken his stick too, and I think realized at the last second that it was broken. He didn't want to get a penalty.
He's got a new one now as he stands in front of the bench. And a pass was intended for him. It was blocked. Now it gets there from Phaneuf. Slowly, Van Riemsdyk tried to pass. That was blocked by Colin Greening. He threw the puck to the boards, and first one there is Mark Methot, and he cleared it.
Boy, not a very confident start for this power play. Really tentative. You could see telegraphing passes. Van Riemsdyk twice now not able to get the pass he wanted.
Here's the problem. The balance of power always switches in games. 3 to the one side, and you know what's coming next. The power play to Ottawa.
Morgan Riley, Jake Gardner shoots, and an easy save for Craig Anderson. There was no screen at all.
Softer, kinder NHL now. Guys might be cold outside, but kind of warm and fuzzy inside. And it's right before the start of the period. You always saw this in the original 6. They always chatted a little bit. Grapes will love it. The new NHL. Say hello to your friends.
You can see the ice time. Karlsson sitting in the penalty box only 7 minutes, and more stunning, guys, is an average shift length of 39 seconds. It's usually almost over a minute.
So that means he can, once he gets this penalty,
He can play the rest of the period.
Stay on for the rest of the night. He's back on the ice now, and Toronto's 0 for 3, and that was one quiet power play. Bouncing puck for Colin Greening. Jumping up on the play, Cody Ceci. Rookie goes wide through the puck at the net. Bernier steered it aside. McCulloch threw it back, and Bernier stops play.
You see Bernier there. He knew that he had some trouble in front and held on. Mentioned Glenn, you like the fact that you've distinguished him as the #1 goaltender and give him an opportunity to take it from here, don't you feel?
Yeah, especially with the days off in between.
Yeah.
You know, you've really found yourself back into the game. You know, it is ironic, though. I mean, you look at his past 12 games, you know, he's won 7 of them, but it's his worst goals against of the entire season. So, poor goals against, but lots of results. Go with one, stick with one. He's got a whale of a break to rest up.
And he's got a team that can skate and score in front of him, and that helps.
Stay out of that heap of teams that are chasing the wild card spot. That'll be one wild last weekend to see who gets in.
Greg McKegg out for his 4th shift in the National Hockey League. Former Erie and London junior from St. Thomas. And now he's back checking. He's got to look after Zibanejad, and he did in front. Made sure he couldn't get the pass. Mason Raymond. Conacher centering pass. Casually taken away by Jake Gardner. And the outlet, here's McKegg. 9 goals in the American Hockey League. Dumps the puck in and heads for the bench.
That's been his game so far. Again, not wanting to get caught out on an extended shift.
Morgan Riley. Jay McClement takes a shot off a skate wide of the net. 4th line shift here. All the big boys are on the ice. Cassian, McLaren, Orr made the pass to the blue line. Here's Riley again. He shoots, and he really didn't want to shoot because there was no bodies in front, but he ran out of time, and here we go. Fraser McLaren and Matt Cassian. They wanted to get to each other before the linesman held them apart, and that ended in a hurry.
That happened along the boards. Is actually the puck was in McLaren's feet, and he didn't even respond to it. He was looking at Cassian the whole time. McLaren just coming back from injury, missing 9 games, and he knows what his role is. He was hungry to try to get him involved. Watch the puck around the boards. The puck's right there, and he doesn't even go at it. He looks to see if he can engage Cassian there. The shot by Riley with no traffic in front, and take your pick. Is it going to be 28 on 28? Or 38, and you could see they separated themselves and went.
Well, I'm okay with a good scrap, but you tell me how this affects the game.
Yeah. No, it doesn't change it at all, does it?
It was very predictable, though.
Well, you know you're not going to get many shifts in a tight game, so this may be one of the last 3 you're ever going to get. So this is called justify your paycheck. Entertain the fans a little bit of Woody Goon talk, and try to beat somebody else up. Good thing we went to college, Shimmer.
Offside call, and a push by Dion Phaneuf, and Clark MacArthur was pushing Dion's stick around.
Everybody is now. You can see Ryan just skated by it and accidentally on purpose kicked it away from Phaneuf as well. And Phaneuf, when he loses his stick here, he hasn't heard the whistle yet, so he's rushing to get back. And everybody playing a little tag with the stick. MacArthur trying to knock it away, and Ryan does as well.
Well, once they know that you can be had, and they get enough unravel a little bit, then it's like pack mentality. They all jump in.
Here's Kadri. Joffrey Lupul tried to set up Phaneuf, and the pass was intercepted. Phaneuf has the puck again, fires a shot, and a big rebound came off Craig Anderson, but it was taken away by Carlson. The Leafs get the puck back again. Phaneuf again with a shot. Anderson with a save. Still couldn't keep the puck and stop the play that he might have wanted to. Erik Karlsson, a little trouble on this shift, and now he's can't get the puck out, thrown at the net by Kuhlman. Anderson finally covers it up. How many chances was that? Ottawa look like they did in the first month or two of the season when they had 4 chances to get the puck out and didn't do it.
Well, after we saw Dion Phaneuf get pushed around with his stick, he used it very effectively, jumping up into the play, creating an offensive chance. But watch the read by Karlsson. Got into position, got a good active stick as Phaneuf had jumped up and had a chance for a one-timer there.
Watch the play by Kadri to get onside to the right of your screen. That leads to a real good hard shot by Phaneuf. Lots of velocity, screen in front. Kadri would not have gotten an assist, but you should give him one for the play to create the scoring chance. Good first period for Kadri. Played, as you mentioned, well over 9 minutes, most by any Leaf forward.
That was a good shift for Toronto to build on. We'll see if they can do it with their top line here. That's probably why Randy Carlyle got them out on the attacking zone here, trying to get some momentum. And it's the Senators who come back. Jason Spezza, Zibanejad in front for McCulloch, a deflection. Bernier's down, Gleason's down, and I think he's on top of the puck.
Boy,
He wants to make sure that Bernier gets it.
A bouncing puck that Zibanejad trying to get it to the front of the net, and a tough read for the goaltender. Watch a good aggressive play. Zibanejad keeps it alive on Riley, and then Spezza with a pass off the skate, and you can see the bouncing puck for Bernier. Started going to his left and then had to stop quickly and get back to his right to find it.
That could have ended in disaster. Zach Smith wins the faceoff. Weirkosh with a shot, a weak one wide of the net. He just tried to get it through. They get it through wide. Troy Bodie with an aerial to center. Mason Raymond coming with him is Jay McClement. Raymond shoots. There's a rebound, and it's swatted wide by Troy Bodie. Speed of Raymond made that happen. Saved by Anderson. Raymond was dumped. The fans call a penalty. These veteran referees don't. Zach Smith wastes one off the stick of Franzen into the netting.
Well, you see Clement getting an opportunity with Bodie and Mason Raymond there, and Smith aggressive on him as well. Raymond is head up trying to get back into the middle. A quick shot, that a rebound right there from McClement gets tied up by Ceci.
One guy who should be well rested is Karlsson. Took the penalty. He's only had 1 shift this period. We're almost 5 minutes into it.
Back out there now with Jared Cowan. Spezza to try and win the draw. Kadri against him. Spezza's an excellent faceoff hand, and he won the draw. The Leafs with him. Good work by Gleason. Got the puck back. Kadri, Lupo, and Kuhlman out against Spezza's line this time. Anderson nonchalantly threw the puck into the corner. Spezza starts out. His pass too hot to handle for Conacher. A race after the puck. Bernier had to wait for it to get there. Condra can't center. Gleason with a good stick against him. Morgan Riley to Nazem Kadri. Karlsson pinching, and the puck got by him. And he was backed up by Eric Condra, who dumps the puck in. Morgan Riley again. Here's Kadri. Lupul on his left. Kuhlman coming up to join him. Lupul, an excellent backhand dish, and Kuhlman couldn't get it. Lupul came over and got it himself. Anderson out to play the puck. Eric Kreiba, over 9 minutes in the first period. This is a guy who was scratched, a healthy scratch 22 times this season. He's in the good books now, though. His partner, Mark Mathot, holds the puck in. Bobby Ryan centering. No harm done there. Top line for the Leafs is on. Gunnarsson, Van Riemsdyk. Bozak, puck was too slow getting there. Zach Smith moved it back in. Bobby Ryan is there, so is Clark MacArthur. Kessel, look at him pick up speed. 3 strides and at full speed in over the blue line. And then he fell down and gave the puck away to Bobby Ryan. Zach Smith is with him. 2-on-2. The pass to Smith intercepted by Cody Franson, and he sends Kessel the other way. He left the puck behind, and that wasn't his favorite shift. He's tired of it, and he's leaving.
And there's a quick return on the ice for Karlsson as well. Just 1 shift to rest and back on offensively.
Smith with Chris Neal, the goal scorer, and Colin Greening. Here comes Jay McClement driving wide. Bodie to the net. The backhander goes into the corner. Jay McClement with Fraser McLaren in the penalty box. First Chris Neal with Greening. He shoots, he scores! Same line, strikes again for Ottawa. First it was Neal, then Neal set up Greening. 2-0 Senators.
Well, this play happens in the neutral zone, and it's been one problem for Gardner a couple of times. You saw it in the Florida game. He pinched at the offensive blue line at the wrong time there. He loses the battle for the puck, but what a pass by Neal. And he looked like he'd done that many a times. A nice saucer pass and no chance at all for a sprawling Bernier.
Well, the left shot means you got to come a long distance if you're a goaltender. You almost need 2 pushes to get across. You don't expect the pass. It's supposed to be the D takes the pass, and the goaltender takes the Neal shot. Neal known for his mitts, but in a different way tonight. Goal, and now that setup.
What a sweet dish. And Colin Greening needed that. He hadn't scored in 10 games. Here they come again. Spezza with a shot wide of the net.
Just like his goal, though, I'm sure Bernier is not anticipating having to move that quickly. Even if it did get a pass over, I don't think he was expecting it to be tape to tape.
So the Senators have the lead, and the Leafs are chasing the game just as they did the other night. Colin Greening with a beauty from Chris Neal.
You are looking at number 39, Greg McKegg, as he makes his NHL debut with the Toronto Maple Leafs this evening. The 21-year-old from St. Thomas, Ontario, is the subject of your Hockey Night bio tonight, brought to you by Subway Restaurants. There you can see Bobby Hastings bringing in his gear earlier, and as Greg makes his way to the locker room, oops, looks like he doesn't have a key. Not to worry, he obviously made his way in. He spent his junior hockey days playing Junior B with the St. Thomas Stars. He spent time with the Erie Otters in the OHL, as well as the London Knights. According to Steve Spott with the Marlies, he was the most reliable player and the best player available to be called up.
He was in San Antonio when he got the call up, and he's on the ice now. He missed a couple of shifts. Jay McClement took his spot. He was on the ice for that last goal. McKegg out here with Bodie and Mason Raymond. Jake Gardner trying to make amends for a bad pinch. McKegg filling in behind him, couldn't get the puck. Cody Francis. So the line that got scored upon this stays right out there for Randy Carlyle, and McKegg has the puck. Raymond. Cody Francis. Intentionally wide. Bodie tried to bank one in off Craig Anderson. Here's McKegg with a wraparound. He stopped. Mason Raymond poked the puck loose. And the Senators finally get control. And out comes Colin Greening. And he'll dump the puck in. Both teams make a change on the fly. McKegg, end of his shift. Mason Raymond gets the puck in. Jared Cowan takes it back for Ottawa. Spezza, rink wide, tipped by Zibanejad onto his own bench.
You know, if you make mistakes and you learn from them, that's an education. And Jake Gardner against the Florida Panthers, bad pinch, doesn't get the puck or the man. It ends up everyone blaming Kadri for not having his man. Well, guess what? Is this the same replay? No, it's a different team. It's Ottawa, but it's the exact same thing. You don't get the puck, you don't get the man. You've got to learn from your mistakes. That's the way the coach will trust you in different situations.
Got right back out there on the next shift.
Well, don't you think both he and Riley have really turned the corner from a confidence standpoint, though? They're involved in the play. Yeah. They know that they're going to be in the lineup. And I think that's been a big difference maker, too. You're still going to make some young mistakes as a young defenseman, but they know that they're in the lineup and they can play and recover from it.
I think that's the biggest thing. This lineup has had some stability. Yeah. You had the suspensions early on, the injuries. It seemed like when you got one player back, another one went down. They've had a pretty consistent lineup for the past 10 games.
And they've won 8 of them. Ottawa's been pretty good, too, tracking down the playoff teams. They're a point out of a playoff spot tonight.
You think back on December 27th, first game back, they lost to Boston after the Christmas break. They're 3 games under 500, and they've just been able to claw their way back into a playoff race.
And so much of it has to do with the play of their defense. They're moving the puck well.
It's time for the Captain Morgan Icebreaker. Why not try a Captain and Cola? Captain Morgan, the official rum sponsor of the NHL.
Remember the first couple of months of the season, you could never figure out who was going to be on the Ottawa defense. They had different scratches every night. They couldn't find the right combinations. They weren't moving the puck properly. They've really solidified that, and Same as the Leafs. You know which pairs are going to be together just about every night.
They've been winning much like the Leafs, though, don't you think? It's their offense.
Yeah.
I mean, they've scored 3+ in 10 of their last 14, but they've also given up 3 in 9 of them.
So many similarities. A month ago, both coaches for both teams were going to get fired. Both teams didn't know who their starting goalie was. And now both teams, coaches are fine. We know who the starting goal is. It's Anderson at the one end, Bernier at the other. I mean, we talked about Greiba and his development. I think a lot of it has to do with your mistakes don't end up in the scoreboard. Anderson's the guy making the difference for you. And that happened in January.
Lupo gets the puck out for Toronto. And back for it smoothly is Jared Cowan, his partner Carlson right there with him. Look out, here's the hotline on again. Zach Smith with Chris Neal. Here's Phil Kessel, darts to the puck, he shoots it. Anderson might have got a piece of that. It went wide of the net and comes all the way back to center. Neal to Zach Smith. Put the puck into the middle of the ice. It's a bouncer that got away from Matt Kassian. And Kessel collects the puck. An important shift for Matt Kassian if he's going to play against the Leafs top line, and he is right now. Gleason flushed out by Kassian. Morgan Rielly looks up, decides he can go, and he takes off for Toronto. After the puck, can't quite get to it. Mathot pushed him off it so that Anderson could cover up. Morgan Rielly's got the happy legs like Phil Kessel tonight on Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Phil Kessel closing in on his 5th 30-goal season in the NHL.
Well, here's a nice play. Just a little bank off the boards because we know, yeah, here he comes in the screen. Tons of speed. Only one shot tonight for Kessel. Not much room for him against Ottawa, and we talked about Anderson. Look at his numbers. As soon as you start having later months, December, January, the numbers tidy up. You know, when you look at the totality of his numbers, you say he's not having a good year. All that takes is a couple games where you're cold, your save percentage is down, and the numbers look ugly, but they're good now, and that's the reason Ottawa's back in it.
And they're just riding him. Paul McLean clearly isn't going to play anybody else, and despite the fact that Robin Leonard has been so good, can't get the net.
Well, Leonard had an opportunity, but he's had 5 goals in 3 of 4.
There's Bobby Ryan with a shot that's stopped by Jonathan Bernier.
You know, it's interesting. Last year, Ottawa was such a good team defensively. 2nd in the National Hockey League in goals against average. They're a goal more this year against. And, you know, you think of goaltending's probably a part of it, but I think early on, Paul McLean was not happy with the overall 200-foot game of his team. Defensively, they just weren't able to get things together. They turned pucks over. They gave up too many shots, but you can see, as Randy Carlyle said, this team's got a bit of its mojo back.
Turris won the draw off the post. A great shot by Carlson, and Bernier was saved by the pipe. Another big face-off win for Kyle Turris against Nazem Kadri. Carlson stripped to the puck. Joffrey Lupul. Too many Senators around. They took the puck away. Bobby Ryan trying to go wide on Carl Gunnarsson. Dumps the puck in. Turris and Phaneuf go after it. And Phaneuf gets some help from Nikolai Kulemin. Off the boards and out. Gunnarsson and Phaneuf playing against the Turris line tonight. In over the blue line. Lupul couldn't feed Kadri. Now he dumps the puck in. Toronto needs a change. Toronto needs a goal. They've outshot Ottawa 19-11 now. They've had 3 power plays that they failed on, and they trail in the game 2-0.
Boy, remember that goal post if the Leafs are able to get one and close the gap here.
Van Riemsdyk pushes the puck to Kessel. This line hasn't had many dominant shifts. Spezza. Here's Eric Greiba. He shoots, and Bernier got a piece of that. Steered the puck off the boards. Mark Mathot back for it. Van Riemsdyk in hot pursuit. Mathot ran into traffic, moved the puck ahead. Here's Milan McCulloch. On his own, he stops up and waits for Spezza. Kessel checks here. And Phil Kessel gets the puck and tries to get up to speed to Tim Gleason. Off the glass, Kessel can't rush onto it. Bonus, he got the puck and he just about banked it in. Van Riemsdyk would make that. Raymond was there along with Tyler Bozak, and they couldn't put it behind Craig Anderson. Van Riemsdyk had just changed. Cody Franson back in his own zone. Greening and Smith converge upon him. Gardner takes the man. Mason Raymond takes the puck. They'll regroup, and Gardner starts out. His pass to Troy Bodie. Little tip in. Anderson catches the puck and stops play.
Well, face-offs so important. The Ottawa Senators 7th in the league in face-offs. Here's their 66% win, and it's just a bomb from the blue line of Karlsson. And watch the bouncing puck. Kessel almost quits on it, but then a backhand pass off the skate of Gryba and almost onto the stick of Raymond for a great chance out of nothing.
You saw that face-off that you showed in the defensive zone. If Kadri wants to be responsible in the defensive zone and win draws, he's got to be better than 30% tonight. And likewise, Turris, he's 80%. So that one shot, if it's an inch inside the post, that's the game. It's over.
So that matchup may change. Now it has right now, and Kessel scores! A quick rest for the Leafs top line. They took Kadri's spot against the Kyle Turris line, and right off the faceoff, it's a 2-1 game.
And Jim, it's another faceoff that Turris actually won, but the Ottawa Senators aren't able to keep it. He keeps it alive, runs into the linesman, and then an errant pass that gets picked off, and this is where the trouble starts. Karlsson on the outside can't win the battle, and Van Riemsdyk Kessel, you talked about chemistry. What a perfect pass to an area, and Kessel with a nose for the net, an easy tap.
3 chances to get it out to the Ottawa Senators, the maker of their own demise.
28 goals for Phil Kessel. 14 of them set up by James Van Riemsdyk. And Bilesma take note, or already have.
I think they have.
That's a big goal to make it 2-1. Bodie with a shot wide of the net. And a good hunch played by Randy Karloff. That line had just come off the ice. Attacking zone face-off. They come right back on short shift and a goal. Morgan Riley crowds into it. Now the Leafs are into it. McKegg, Bodie, and Raymond after the puck. Riley chased by Tony Conacher. Stopped and went the other way in a hurry. His pass got through to Kadri. He's stripped of it by Mika Zibanejad. Weirkosh. Pass missed McCulloch. Gardner back in. Kuhlman for Kadri. Weirkosh steps in. Lupul gets the puck. And he's got Kuhlman up front. Kadri along the end boards. The cycle back for Kadri. Weirkosh looks after him and moves the puck ahead. And out starts Bobby Ryan. Ottawa's in the midst of a change. Kadri for Kuhlman. This line will need a change now for Toronto as well. Cowan has a look over his shoulder, gets back and feeds the puck to Cody Ceci. Belted by Kadri out front. Lupul scores! Well, the Battle of Ontario's on now, and Nazem Kadri's in the midst of that scrum. A hard hit and a big goal for Joffrey Lupul. It's 2-2.
Well, the end result here is because of the hit that Kadri put on Ceci behind the net. Ceci turned at the last second. You see all the discussion going on with the Senators talking to the officials. You can be the judge here. It happened so quickly and happened behind the net that Ceci went to turn the puck away. Kadri, instead of changing, comes down low, makes the quick hit, head first into the boards, backhand pass, and it's in the back of the net. There's the reaction of Smith and Cowan coming to their teammates' defense. And a lunging play by Kadri to Lupul in front.
We have seen Kadri many a time use his physical dominance and presence. Skilled guys that do it, your teammates respect you. Now that particular play, the Ottawa Senators, they got half of a change with their defense. Ceci would have completed the change. He didn't get off the ice. He had to stay on. And as a result, tired legs, brain goes to sleep, And the next thing you know, it's in the back of your net.
As you see there, Dvorsky, Jim, turning his hand, saying that CC turned, and boy, that's a tough non-call that ends up tying this game.
Nazem Kadri seems to be at his best when he adds the physical element to his game, and he hadn't so far in the night. And Paul McLean is incensed that there's no penalty call, and his team is in a 2-2 game. Game really turned on a play by a change by Randy Carlyle to short shift or short rest the Bozak line and play them against Kyle Turris. They got the goal, and he gets another one within a minute and a half, and it's 2-2.
Well, when you're a head coach too, and you play those matchup games like both these coaches do, you know, you end up scoring that first goal against the top line, the top defensive pairing. Carlson can't get it out, and then to see a break like this, you be the judge whether you call that a penalty 5 out of 10 times, hard to say. But a heads-up play by Kadri, not only making the hit, but still being able to make the play after.
Let's take a look at the incomplete change the Ottawa Senators had. That's bottom of your screen by the boards. They don't get out. It's not the play we're looking for, but that's okay. Still live pictures. There we go. There's the hit. But how many of the games between these two teams have had controversial hits? The Alfredson hit against Tucker in the playoffs. Game 7, Ty Domi got hit by Pearson. First time in my life I saw Ty Domi get cut. Led to a 5-minute major, and the Leafs got back in that game and won Game 7. It's the Battle of Ontario. You gotta love it.
Here comes Spezza with his shot just wide of the net. Mark Mathot is in deep. Spezza from behind the net. This time he's with McCulloch and Zibanejad. Mason Raymond down and up, and he dumps the puck in. Anderson plays the puck to Zibanejad. Quickly through the neutral zone. Spezza checked by Cody Franson, who gave him no space. But he'll try again, and he snaps a shot up high. Franson is the first man back to his partner, Jake Gardner. James Van Riemsdyk. Kessel's across the ice. In the middle is Bozak. Back to Van Riemsdyk. He shoots, and Anderson made the save. Kessel onto the rebound. Van Riemsdyk battling with Zibanejad. Bozak looking for Kessel. He was tied up by Callan. Van Riemsdyk knocked down behind the net. Penalty coming up on the play. It's going to be against Ottawa. Gardner takes the shot. That was blocked by Spezza. Extra attackers on a delayed penalty call against the Senators. Things are going from bad to worse for Ottawa. They're in a tie. Now they'll be shorthanded. Mika Zibanejad in a battle behind the net takes a penalty on James Van Riemsdyk on Hockey Night in Canada. Well, you can understand why the Senators aren't happy with this penalty, especially since these veteran officials didn't give them a call on Kadri's hit.
Absolutely, and there's been all kinds of discussions still going on with Dvorsky and MacArthur. We can see that no effort at all by Van Riemsdyk. He's got his stick in between Zibanejad's legs and vice versa, and he goes down easily, and it was an incensed bench on the Ottawa side, seeing yet another power play go to Toronto.
They haven't had one yet. It's the 4th power play for Toronto. It hasn't clicked, but it's a 2-2 tie. It has a chance to be a game changer.
Well, what you didn't see behind the play were 2 other players having massive battles as well. So at one point, 6 players on the ice engaged physically, and none of them had the puck.
In honor of his 1500th game, Paul Dvorsky has got everybody mad at him. So on the White side, Anderson covers up here as this power play will have a face-off in the attacking zone.
His first game was in Hartford. Hartford against New Jersey. Jim Schoenfeld and Ricky Lee coaching Hartford. Getting yelled at by both of them. Some things just haven't changed in 1,500 games.
Another big face-off between Kadri and Turris, and Kadri had a quick start there. Turris has had the measure of Kadri so far.
This is an interesting change by Carlyle, though. 22 seconds in, nothing for that first power play. Get the other one out.
They've had better chances in the 3 earlier power plays.
You know, it's interesting, too, that players always have teams that they play well against. That entire line, the Bozak, Van Riemsdyk, and Kessel, against the Ottawa Senators, they've had more goals and more points, all three of them, against the Senators than any other team.
The last goal that he scored, his 28th of the season, was Phil Kessel's 23rd career goal against Ottawa.
And, you know, you have teams that you just always feel good against, and you can throw Kadri in that mix as well. He's got 7 goals and 11 points, now 12 points against Ottawa. That's more than any team he's played as well.
It's the old expression, when the Ottawa Senators come to town, they'll find Phil Kessel there driving the bus.
Kessel had quite a month of January. Most assists in the NHL, tied with Jonathan Toews. Not surprisingly, who was just second to them? Kadri.
There's a real argument here over this face-off.
Is it ever? All about time. How much time on the clock?
Now they finally got that figured out, because it is a power play and the Leafs didn't want to lose any time on it. They had a false start, so they put a couple of seconds back on. Kadri tried to go straight ahead, just get a shot. Instead, the Senators got the puck and cleared it, so he's trying anything he can to get a win against Kyle Turris. Morgan Rielly watched by Greeny. Joffrey Lupul slowly hooked back. McCulloch's trying to get the puck, and he does. And Morgan Rielly has to go back for it. I think they'll be going back to the Bozak power play unit here pretty quick. Rielly, backhand pass to no one in particular, so Gryba drives the puck. Didn't get it up, but McCulloch does.
Play by Gardner there. Ottawa doesn't get a change.
On the long change, second period, a bouncing puck off a leg. Gardner holds it in again. Morgan Rielly lost the puck in his feet, played it to Gardner. He's everywhere, playing a rover on this shift. Mason Raymond around the outside into the middle. Rielly trying to get the puck to Lupul, couldn't quite do it. Senators clear the puck, and now they scramble to change.
McFaught and Gryba, that's a long penalty kill shift for them.
They're still out there, and here comes Bozak in front of the net. That hit Conroy. He's tripped down, and Dion Phaneuf's going to get a penalty.
Stepped on the puck.
I know, but it's 4 power plays to none. And so anything close to a penalty is going to be called, and Dion Phaneuf gets one here.
Now Phaneuf reading the play, jumping up, trying to come in back door. The pass, just a bouncing one. You can see it was a quick reaction by Condra trying to get back to the puck, and as you mentioned, off the finally, you get yourself a power play. After this 9 seconds, Zibanejad will be back on the ice.
We'll get the first look at Ottawa's power play. 10th overall, but it is the best power play in the NHL on the road. 26 goals on the road, 11 at home. Go figure that.
Dead last at home, first on the road. That is hard to believe. And the Leafs, best power play at home and dead last on the penalty kill at home.
Spezza again against Jay McClement, #1 penalty killer of the Maple Leafs, and Spezza won the draw. Carlson, whoops, lost the puck in his feet. Birkash backs up. Zibanejad set to return to the ice. And Ottawa is now officially on the power play. Carlson leads the way. Had a great play by Nikolai Kulemin. Intercept the pass and then clear the puck.
You see Carlson yelling at himself there. That's 2 plays that he's had lots of time and not able to make the play.
Not playing enough.
No, not at all. You got to get him in there.
Didn't get in the game in the first period because of all the penalty killing.
Somehow I think he could kill a penalty. Just saying. Some shape or form, 65 could do a decent job at killing it. If Gryba can do it, McDonough can do it, Carlson can do it.
Then he'd be like Suter, though, over 30 minutes a game because he's already at about 28 and not killing much.
There's Spezza. Made some room for himself. Ryan with a shot. A nice save by Bernier. We're into the last minute of this second period in a tie game. Jason Spezza for Carlson, and he usually hits him with that pass. But that one wasn't as pinpoint as it usually is. Birkash to Carlson. Up the middle goes Turris, and the pass split Turris and Clark MacArthur. And again, Erik Karlsson will be unhappy with himself for that. He'll get another chance, though. This time he dumps the puck in. Off the boards, MacArthur gets there, slapped it on goal. Bernier made the save. Kyle Turris got to the puck first. Gleason went down. And he got back at Turris, bumped him, and the puck came loose to Jay McClement, who cleared it. That should just about do it in this second period as the Senators get back for the puck. One last rush. Cody Ceci will have to shoot. Weaves in over the line, takes the shot, stopped by Bernier as the horn sounds. He must have had a look because he knew how much time he had, and Ceci took off, got the shot, but Bernier made the save. 2-0 lead for Ottawa, frittered away. Kessel and Lupul 1:38 seconds apart in a tie game on Hockey Night in Canada. Welcome back to Hockey Night in Canada. 2-2 tie in Toronto. You wonder how Cody Ceci knew how much time there was left at the end of the period? Bobby Ryan told him.
Yes, that's right. You ask, we answer. Watch Bobby Ryan here, middle of your screen. Calling the audible. Come on, he's counting down the clock. It's all about Ceci all the time, and he gets a real good scoring chance late. Not all communication has to be verbal.
Well, communication between coach and player is always prevalent. One thing that Nazem Kadri's had a lot of is words from his head coach. That was a power play face-off. Kadri tried to go forward, and this was the little interaction on the bench. Say the puck goes back down the other way. A lot of discussion. Kadri 3 wins, 10 losses in the face-off dot tonight after being much better in the dot over the month of January.
But he's up against a red-hot Kyle Turris tonight. That's one area that Nazem's got to get better at, and he's a year younger than Kyle Turris. Good example for Maple Leaf fans to have a look at Kyle Turris and the way he matured at about 200 games. Kadri's about 100 games behind him.
Bit of a junior move, though. I mean, that may work in junior. It's not working in the National Hockey League.
I think he's just frustrated that he couldn't beat him backhand, so he thought, I'll try anything here. Little tip through. Short power plays over. Dion Phaneuf has served his penalty time, and the teams are 5-on-5 here.
Well, this is the body of work for Kyle Turris in this game. He's been exceptional. The only player who actually has beat him in the dot is Kadri. There's 2 of Nazem's 3 wins have come against Kyle, but you could see his night's work has been pretty impressive.
He's taking this one.
He's on the ice, and so Jay McClement is coming on to try and beat him in this one.
They got to get Karlsson involved in this period offensively. It's been a little bit of a frustrating game for the star defenseman.
There's the first win for McClement over Turris. Anderson up the boards. Karlsson shot wide.
Well, your first period, you play 7 minutes. You know, you're not in the game. You don't kill penalties. And it's just one of those games where there's no flow.
Eric Greibe has played almost 4 more minutes than Erik Karlsson. Toleman, Kadri came back on after McClement was out for the faceoff. Joffrey Lupul. His pass deflected up in the air. Phaneuf with a shot. He hit Lupul. And here's Erik Karlsson bolting to center, leading a 3-on-2. He heads for the net. Return pass, and he shot it just wide of the net. On the return pass, Bobby Ryan. Karlsson again tried to feather a pass through, get it through to Kyle Turris, and he couldn't. Kadri back at center, got away from Bobby Ryan's check. Dion Phaneuf with a shot, and it looked like it handcuffed Craig Anderson, but he fought it off and stopped playing.
Well, 2 defensemen head-to-head as Phaneuf and Karlsson at both ends of the ice battling. You can see his ability to just jump up ice. Nice little pass, weaves through the defense, but Phaneuf comes across and then finishes his check. At the other end, Phaneuf jumping up, gets spread out to the outside, and there's that little awkward save, as you mentioned, as Anderson looks back down and maybe caught a rut going across.
Jay McClement out for another faceoff, this time against Zach Smith. This is in Greg McKegg's spot, so McClement takes a shift here, at least for the faceoff, with Raymond and Bodie against the Zach Smith line that has scored both goals for Ottawa. Chris Neal has a goal and a helper on Colin Greening's. Greening lost the puck in his feet. Franson to Gardner. Mason Raymond in traffic, plays the puck back. Bouncing puck for Franson, he just got rid of it. And as Greibe goes back, there's an icing call against Toronto. Well, let's look back on those 2 goals in a minute 38 that tied the game up.
Ottawa looked to be clearly in control, and a couple things changed today. Great play, Kessel, 6 straight 20-plus goal seasons, and then the questionable hit. Penalty or no penalty? I think the big question is suspension or no suspension. And Murray is not happy with it, nor should he be.
They'll be having a close look at that.
I think it just happened so quickly right behind the net, and the officials were too slow to react, and the next thing, the puck's in the back of the net.
Well, that call, if you're calling a penalty, has lots of ramifications.
Yeah.
Taking away a goal, it's a tying goal, and you're giving the team a penalty.
Weirkosh with a long shot that's stopped by Jonathan Bernier. Just a few days now. In 6 days, the Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter Games officially begin with the opening ceremony. That's Friday at 10 a.m. on CBC TV. Competition actually begins Thursday. Hockey tournament. We wait 4 years for this tournament, and the team that wins it is going to do it in 10 days, and if they lose, it could be over in 6 for any one of the teams. Win for Tyler Bozak, but the Senators won the loss. Cowan with a shot off a leg in front of the net. Paul McLean goes right back to this tourist line again. Clark MacArthur stripped to the puck. Van Riemsdyk to center. Jared Cowan to Kyle Turris, and back in. MacArthur's got Ryan. Takes the shot, and a stick of Dion Phaneuf prevented that from being a hard shot. Turned into an easy save for Bernier.
Well, this is a great matchup between the top lines of these two teams, and we've talked about face-offs all game long. Here's one that, as you mentioned, the Leafs won, but then they lost control of it. And watch Bernier's reaction. He has no idea where that puck was. Phaneuf saw it, pointed to it. These almost mirror images of each other and their importance to their respective teams.
Two great plays by MacArthur there. One on the tip, and the second one to protect his body and the puck to get another chance on that against Dion Phaneuf and his Leafs.
There was another face-off win, this time Spezza over Kadri for Ottawa. But the Leafs get out. Morgan Riley dangling towards the net, taken down. And the net's off. That's why the whistle goes. No call from either referee as Morgan Riley has another exciting rush.
Well, the crowds here wanted a call, and the way this night's going, I don't think there was going to be one happening at all. But an excellent job with speed, outside, inside, and a push off by Karlsson as he got caught a little bit flat-footed. You could see how Riley, even though he wasn't skating, was still gaining some speed as a very efficient glider as he moved up the ice there.
It's just been an odd night for Erik Karlsson. He hasn't had a great one at all, has he?
Well, the door could be open for greatness at any time.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, game breaker extraordinaire.
Leafs get the draw. Raymond couldn't get the puck to the front of the net. Martin Mathot is outlet. Zach Smith now. Neal heads for the net. Good play by Franzen to take the man. Leafs have the puck. Jake Gardiner with an outlet. Bodie to Raymond. Moving up on Cody Ceci. The pass to Troy Bodie. Mathot steers him to the boards, and Smith comes back and hits him. Zach Smith wins the battle. It's a 4-on-2 rush to center. Smith leading the way, and Chris Neal was offside right in front of the linesman on a 4-on-2 rush.
I got our next Battle of the Blades contestants. I found him. I've searched high and low, and here he is. Gryba. Love it. He can skate anytime with the characters that are in that show. And, you know, you talked about Karlsson. Look at him on the bench here, just carefree. Talk about a guy who loves to play the game, just having a big smile. Yep. Toe pick.
Karlsson's back on with Jared Cowan now, and he has the puck. Zibanejad forechecking. Tim Gleason to Morgan Riley, lost the puck in his feet. The Senators get it. Cowan. Conacher. Zibanejad behind him to the blue line, and Cowan. And his shoot in. Conacher on the other side got to the puck before Lupul. It comes back to Karlsson, and he holds it in. Morgan Riley. Down the ice, icing is waved off. Cowan's back to get the puck. Kadri right on him. And Erik Karlsson steps it up and goes. His pass to Bobby Ryan tipped off his stick. That's a sort of in-between night Erik's had. Lupul with the shoot-in. Here's Phil Kessel. Gunnarsson is with him, jump towards the front of the net, now back to the boards after the puck. And he holds it in. Phil Kessel, rings wide, got the puck through to Dion Phaneuf. He can't get it through the net. Mark MacArthur blocked that. Bozak knew where Kessel was. He tried to throw it out front, went off a leg. And out quickly comes Eric Conroe. One-on-one, he's up against Gunnarsson. Turris trying to join him, heads for the net. Shot doesn't get through. Gunnarsson did a nice job. And back to the puck is Bozak, and there's going to be a penalty to Carl Gunnarsson for tripping. Ottawa gets its second power play in a 2-2 tie.
You can see the motion by Dvorsky there, saying a little bit of a kick. You got the stick in by Gunnarsson on Condra, and then the last part, just a little extra kick. A battle for the puck there, and there's the right leg that goes leg to leg, and that's where the call was made.
8 goals in his last 12 games equals a dangerous Kyle Turris. Now watch Kessel on the back check. A lot of effort, a lot of energy on the defensive side of the game for 81.
And now he's going to watch a penalty kill. So is Turris at the start of it. Zibanejad to take the draw.
Bad timing, huh? With the top line for the Senators a little tired. They take a seat.
No Spezza. McCulloch, Zibanejad, Conacher up front. Phaneuf, Cody Ceci, he and Wierkosh man the points in the power play, and with a hand, Jay McClement cleared the puck.
That ought to strike the fear in you, huh? That group up front? Not so much.
Better scorer, get a face-off. Zibanejad. Conacher. Ceci wanted the puck. Comes back to Patrick Wierkosh. He shoots. That's blocked by Gleason. He's down looking for the puck. It disappeared for a moment. Zibanejad was the first to find it. Only one to find it. Return pass from Ceci. There's the shot. Conacher in front of the net had that deflect off him. Group doesn't look too bad. Wierkosh. McCulloch with a shot off a skate. Zibanejad to Wierkosh, gathers the puck in, can't get the shot. McClement knocked it away. Wierkosh stumbled. Jay McClement short-handed. Stopped by Anderson. A wraparound. He stopped that too. The penalty's coming up, but there's a train wreck in front of the net. Gardner's centering pass was tipped. Goaltender finally leaves for the extra attacker. The penalty's going to be called on Patrick Wierkosh. Here comes Mason Raymond up the middle, shoots, blocked. Raymond gets the puck back. Phil Kessel off the bench. Finally, Turris gets the puck, and the penalty's called against Ottawa. And it'll take the Senators off the power play.
Well, just a comedy of errors that started in the offensive line. You can see Zibanejad got blown up in front, but Wierkosh was trying to make a quick decision. Do I shoot through the traffic or make a pass to the outside? There was the penalty, and then traffic in front of the net, bodies flying around, and that's right here where Zibanejad got hurt going down. Both players looking for a penalty.
Who comes sliding through for human bowling here?
Tough play for Zibanejad. Oh yeah, it was Raymond.
Mason Raymond
took both Wierkosh down and Zibanejad at the same time. Wow, dangerous play.
Both okay on the bench beside me, though.
So 4-on-4 here for 37 seconds, then the Maple Leafs get a fifth opportunity with a man advantage. Kadri on his forehand figured out a way to beat Kyle Turris. Phaneuf, his pass too hot to handle for Lupul. Carlson gave the puck away to Kadri. Dion Phaneuf. His shot is blocked by Kyle Turris. Jared Cowan jumps up to join him. 2-on-2. Turris, what a move! Can't get the shot. Phaneuf came over to help. Back quickly. 3 leaves to center. Joffrey Lupul with Gardner takes the shot. Big rebound. That was a shot pass off the pad. And the Leafs couldn't finish the rebound. Back the other way. MacArthur, Turris, his cross-ice pass and escape. Leafs turn to take off, and they're on a power play as Gunnarsson has returned to the ice. Man advantage for a minute 15 seconds. Joffrey Lupul dumps the puck in. Morgan Riley's after it. Cody Franson couldn't stop the puck at the blue line. Colin Greening kills some valuable time. Now Tyler Bozak with the puck. Kessel's with him on the right side. Van Riemsdyk already up to the blue line. Couldn't get in against Priva. Greening comes over and charged the puck loose. Cody Franson and Morgan Riley are together now. Kessel. Van Riemsdyk. Kessel heads for the net. Riley. Cody Franson. Bozak's high in the slot. Riley passes off. Kessel turns. Shoots. What a shot. Kessel's 29th. Leafs have the lead.
That's Phil Kessel at his best. You just get himself a little bit of a curl here so he gets some forward momentum and then an absolute rocket of a wrister. Through traffic, no chance at all for Anderson. You can barely see it, but you can see the timing of Kessel. That little arch gives him the momentum going towards the net, the quick release, and right off the bar and in for his second of the night.
Morgan Riley set him up at 7:34. Another power play goal on home ice for Toronto. And a 3-2 lead over Ottawa.
Think about the great defensive play, the shift before for Kessel, and then he responds with, I don't think you could shoot the puck in the net with a rifle better than that. Absolute pinpoint accuracy. You're right about the release and the velocity of the shot as well. Incredible.
He's getting the cold streaks out of his game. He's becoming a more complete player. And he's on one of the best lines in the NHL.
9 goals in 12 games now.
6th best scorer in the National Hockey League. Only 5 better.
There's Jason Spitz. Zibanejad with a shot off the end of the stick of Bernier. And Nikolai Kulemin sprints to center. Kadri drops in behind. He shoots off a stick wide of the net. Bouncing puck off the boards. Milan Michalek quickly the other way. Ceci. Michalek dishes to Zach Smith, and he can't control the puck. Now he's got it. Snatched away for a moment by Joffrey Lupul. Gunnarsson. Up the boards, not out. Colin Greening. Zach Smith in front. Here's Ceci, jumps up, rolling puck. He put it off a skate. Weirkosh turns, shoots that hit a body in front. In fact, it hit Gunnarsson in the head. Centering pass, Greening with a shot. Deflected into the corner. Another good ship for the Zach Smith line. Cody Ceci, Colin Greening. Ceci pinching down. Nice job, holds the puck in. Neal is in front. Stopped by Bernier. Loose puck and smothered before Neal could get his second or Greening his. What action, a 3-2 lead. Phil Kessel has a pair for Toronto.
Things have to happen for this goal to go in the net. Let's take a look at all 4 of them. First thing, entry, speed, backs off the defense. Guess who starts it? Kessel. Then the second thing that has to happen. It's all about Kessel finding that little soft spot. Bang, release. Third thing, speed of the puck, 123 kilometers an hour. And the last thing, just to finish the deal, James Van Riemsdyk at the last second gets out of the way. Anderson doesn't see it.
Any conversation you have about which is the best line in the NHL has to include Kessel, Bozak, and Van Riemsdyk.
And how about the influence of Bozak? Since returning from injury, this Leaf team is 10-5-1. And you think of the slumps that both Van Riemsdyk and Kessel did for a short time when he was out. And Van Riemsdyk had to play the center role on that line. You just realize the importance of Bozak and just the chemistry that that line is having.
I would say that, probably the best line in the league right now is Taves, Hossa, and Sharp. And you've got Carey, Getzlaf, and Penner in Anaheim, Krejci, Lucic, Ginla. Lines that have been together all season. That one's in Boston, but this one is together all the time. And their point totals are similar to all the other top lines in the league.
Well, the talk here was whether the puck actually in that scrum went over the line. Here's the non-call here. This is a pick and roll easily. Neal knocks over Lupul. Oh, there's a goal. Neal's did go in. We're not seeing any of the overhead shots.
An awarded goal.
We talk about a shocked crowd. We're looking now as we went to break. Bernier looked like he got the rebound. The puck was just behind his foot as Lupul tried to kick it back up.
I've never seen anything like this. Typically, if you score a goal, there's some response from the team that gets it, even if you fake it and pretend it's in.
You can't see anything from,
there it is.
Split second.
Somebody saw that because the horn went off to call the referee over the second that the whistle went.
So they're fortunate that it was a commercial break as well. Boy, you could barely see the line there as Lupul tried to get it back underneath.
What a pretty goal. Chris Neal's got 2 and an assist. Here's Zibanejad with a shot, steered aside by Bernier, and it's a 3-3 tie.
Talk about giving the Senators some life, too. I mean, you go to break a little frustrated thinking you're still down, and all of a sudden, game on.
Neal with number 7 and 8 on the season. Here's Jared Cowan. It really is game on with half a period to go here.
Not only 7 and 8, but a beautiful dish as well. And his pass was a beauty.
Here's Kyle Turris, passes into the feet of Clark MacArthur, but he managed to get the puck in front of the net. Off the bench, Mathot shoots, Bernier to save. What a pace, what a game. Ceci and Greening have the assists on Neal's 8th of the season, awarded after the fact to tie the game 3-3.
Boy, isn't momentum an incredible thing? You get a little bit of life, now you got some jump, a shot through, and the rebound not there. As nice job of Bernier holding on. Earlier than that, MacArthur going in, had a good chance getting the puck, and Phaneuf made a good defensive play.
First 2 games of this series between these 2 teams went to a shootout. Are you kind of leaning towards that way tonight?
Well, he said they're mirror images of each other, so it's going to be close.
Another 3 goals against for both teams. That's happened a lot.
Paul McLean rides the hot hand. He's got Zach Smith, Colin Greening, and Neal back on the ice. Neal with a backhander stopped by Bernier. What's got into Chris Neal tonight? Having a whale of a game. A hard pass to Zach Smith. He chips it in. Gardner's outlet cruises down the ice, and that's an icing call against Toronto. And Spezza will come right over the boards to try and win the draw.
Just confidence in going to the net. You got an opportunity to get a hat trick. Look at the battles down below. Gardner can't stay on his feet. McClement has him pinned for a split second, but when the puck gets loose through the legs, a quick turnover, and Bernier had to be sharp on that backhand.
Spezza with Zibanejad and McCall. Jay McClellan won the draw. Bodie's trying to get the puck out against the pinching defenseman, Patrick Wierkosh. Just not Erik Karlsson's night. We're not seeing a lot of him. In fact, we're seeing Ceci and Wierkosh play more now. Bodie, Ceci to Milan McCall. Shoot in, Cody Franson, first man back. James Van Riemsdyk. Bozak and Kessel to shoot in. There's Karlsson. He's got Kessel right on him, and Kessel just took the puck away from Erik Karlsson, played it back, but Turris was there. Bobby Ryan with Clark MacArthur. Turris is coming up late. Karlsson's there as well. And Dion Phaneuf looks after Clark MacArthur so that Bozak can get the puck to center. Kessel spun out, couldn't get a hold of it. Turris in traffic to MacArthur. Back to Turris with Bobby Ryan. He goes wide, taken out hard by Gunnarsson. Kadri off the bench, gets the puck outside the line. Shot in, it hit Dion Phaneuf in the shoulder. Mark Mathot just held the puck into the line. End of a shift here for both teams. They need a change as the puck bounces onto the Leaf bench. 3-3 tie, close game in the Battle of Ontario on Hockey Night in Canada. Back after this. It's time for our Hockey Night close-up, brought to you by Subway Restaurants, and tonight it features Ottawa's 25, Chris Neal.
Singers sing, dancers dance, so he sets the table. fight night. No. End of the first period. Big goal. How about that dish? Now it's a 2-point night. Could we have a 3-point night? Say it isn't so. I mean, Hockey Ops had to pick this one up. No one knew it was in. But what's he known for? Well, he's known more for this. And Chris Neil loves to drop his gloves. He loves to drop them against the Toronto. First one in 2002. But 16 times he's dropped the gloves against the Maple Leafs.
Got the soft hands tonight, though.
And Paul McLean's working them, isn't he?
Big time.
Again, you
And
get
why
a
not?
commercial break, and they're the line that starts.
Never had a hat trick. Could it be tonight?
He's had 4 2-goal games.
You mentioned Carlson. He's got to play the rest of this game in entirety to get to his average. He's just at the 20-minute mark now.
Never really got into the game. Mason Raymond spun out. Out comes Milan McCullough. Spezza gives him the puck back. He shoots just wide of the net. Had a stick check. Gardner deflected the puck right on Bernier. And the Toronto goaltender had to be sharp to keep that out of the net. NHL revealed it's a season like no other. A documentary that has a look at the teams involved in the outdoor games and on their way to the Olympics. NHL revealed Thursday night at 9 on CBC TV.
Oh, a couple of anxious moments for Bernier. Again, this comes back off and then deflected in front, and Bernier having to fight off some traffic. McCullough bumping him and then find the puck.
Ottawa gets the draw. Carlson got the shot. Lupul blocked it. Kuhlman moved the puck ahead. Joffrey Lupul. Turning away from Carlson. Feeds Carl Gunnarsson. Big screen in front. Phaneuf shoots. Anderson the save. The rebound chipped into the corner. And Carlson gets a hold of the puck. Advances it. Carl Gunnarsson back. In the Kadri line against the Kyle Turris line as Kuhlman starts out. His hard pass. Kadri will have to chase the puck. Anderson got there first. Clark MacArthur. Jared Cowan. This is a 3-on-2 for Ottawa to center. Slow to happen, though, to the front of the net. Turris just about put that in. A couple of bounces like a pinball towards him, and he was in too deep to put it into the net.
Well, guys, communication is key all over the ice, and Dion Phaneuf sees his partner with the puck battling for it, and you can hear him from up here. He wanted that one-timer, a good hard shot that created a good chance, and then nice stick at the other end, but a bounce almost went tape to tape somehow over to Kyle Turris through a crowd.
It's a big night offensively for Phaneuf. Not so much on the scoreboard, but 7 shots. He's got about 30% of his team's shots tonight.
Shots are 31-24. The Leafs aren't following their usual plan tonight. Out shooting their opponent. They're in a 3-3 tie. There's a long pass to Tyler Bozak. Chips the puck between the defense, goes after Methot. Van Riemsdyk is right there to help, and he crossed Morgan Riley up. He was going one way, the puck went the other. And Tim Gleason, Riley again to center. Kessel, a little slash from Greiba as he tipped the puck in. Greiba gave the puck away. Kessel in front, he scores! Goals on the season and a 4-3 Toronto lead.
For the 5th time in 6 years, he's a 30-goal scorer. A little miscommunication, pressure from Van Riemsdyk, an errant pass by Greiba, and quick hands in front. There's the tip that saved what would have been an icing and ended this play. And a bounce back pass that gets knocked. Bozak with a great play, and look at that, skate to stick and past the goaltender Anderson.
Anderson knows he's made a bit of a mistake here. You go out to play the puck and he hesitates. That hesitation leads to Greiba getting the puck on his stick, standing still with a full-blown forecheck coming in at you. There's very little you can do with the puck. Unless it's hard and it's around the boards, he doesn't make the right call, and he gives it away.
It's the 5th hat trick of Phil Kessel's career. And wouldn't you know it, he'd score against his favorite team to score against the Ottawa Senators, and we were thinking he might get to 30 before the break. Heck, he might get to 35 before the break now.
You think of his impact here since the trade. The last 3 years now, this is game number 187 for the last 3 years, and that's point number 194 for Phil Kessel.
And you know how excited they are here because Canadians don't usually give up their caps.
There's a few toques out there too because it's cold.
Second in the league in goals. That's quite a year for Phil Kessel.
And a much-deserved standing ovation, but still some work to do with just a one-goal lead in the game.
And here's the Neil Smith line once again going back for Paul McLean, trying to get the momentum back onto his side.
Wasn't it early in the second period you guys were talking about how Kessel only had one shot on goal?
Yes.
Just as we painted it and scripted it.
He's 3 for 5 now.
I know they haven't played Carlson so far tonight like a normal game, but it's time to get him into the last 5.5 minutes of this game.
Here come the Leafs again. Gardner was in on that rush. Weirkosh took too much time. McClement got to him. Chris Neil gets a hold of the puck to Colin Greening. Cody Ceci jumped up. Greening knocked down.
Paul McLean shaking his head again there. He wanted a power play on that one.
Kyle Turris back out on the ice. Ian Ryan, Mark MacArthur. So the Leafs change and the Cadre line comes on again to play against Kyle Turris. Jared Cowan. MacArthur stripped to the puck by Joffrey Lupul. Up the middle. No call there either. Apparently that ship has sailed. There's not going to be many calls now.
Let him play now.
Bouncing puck and a swing and a miss by Erik Karlsson to the blue line. MacArthur's back for the puck. Karlsson, Spezza with some speed just onto the ice, stripped to the puck. Nikolai Kulemin. He'll want to change now. Top line for Toronto's coming back on. Here's Bozak off the bench. Kessel coming up with him. Bozak stopped by Anderson. Tried to trick him. He had an option there with Kessel darting into the play undetected. Zibanejad, McCulloch. Riley knocked the puck away. Spezza got it, and he was checked just as he tried to put the puck in front. Kessel couldn't get the bouncing puck. Zibanejad's pushed off it.
Right here.
Kessel tried to get in front of Zibanejad and couldn't. Toronto changing again. Cody Ceci. They shoot in. Bernier stops the puck and keeps it away from Chris Neil. Jay McClement out of the reach of Bodie. And Riemsdyk's at the end of his shift. Long pass. Conacher tipped the puck to Chris Neil. Smith goes to the net. Neil turned back by Gardner. Gets some help here from Conacher. Zach Smith to the blue line. Cowan. Karlsson shoots. Bernier made the save. Neil's trying to get a hold of the puck. Takes the man. And Zach Smith couldn't get the puck back to the blue line of Karlsson. Under 3 minutes to go. And for the team leading by a goal late in the game starts to get as slow as the hands on a schoolroom clock. They can't move it fast enough. Turris in on Gunnarsson. Bobby Ryan in support. Just knocked Kadri down. Kadri's whacking back at him too. Ryan cycles back for Turris. MacArthur there to help. Dion pokes the puck ahead. Lupul couldn't get it out. To the blue line, and fanning on the shot was Ceci. And again, it's Wierkosh and Ceci looking for some offense off the blue line, playing with that Turris line. Tim Gleason to Morgan Riley. 2 minutes to go. Gleason lost the puck. McCulloch, shifty as can be. Shot went off a stick of the goaltender. Wierkosh holds the puck in. Bounces to the slot. Spezza stripped of the puck by a sliding Tyler Bozak. Wierkosh in center. Van Riemsdyk rushed onto the puck. Wierkosh has to turn dangerously to the front of his own net. Stealing the puck away is Kessel, and he'll keep it in deep. Bozak. Kessel out front. Van Riemsdyk behind. Tried that play again, and it didn't work out. Score! Tyler Bozak seals the deal. What a night for Toronto's big line. Another big shift and a 5-3 Leaf lead.
On the battle of the big lines, it's been the Leafs winning it. Look at the helmet here. Gunnarson's in the way, and McCulloch has a chance to tie this game up. Bozak makes the play defensively, and then at the other end, the between-the-legs play by Van Riemsdyk and the quick outlet pass by Kessel. And after saving a goal at one end, Bozak jumps to the hole in front, and once again, no chance at all for Anderson. Looking behind him, deep in his net, no chance to stop.
A lot of standing around for Ottawa. If they're going to use their meat at the back end, they're using their bigger D to contain the Leaf forwards. Well, it's speed that wins here. Speed versus meat, and it has worked great for the Maple Leafs.
A 4-goal, 8-point night for Bozak, Kessel, Van Riemsdyk. They made the difference in a 5-3 lead with a minute to go. And the puck's over the glass on a deflection. And this is huge in the standings because Ottawa was starting to creep pretty close to Toronto. They were within 6, could have got to within 4 tonight, and it looks like there'll be 8 points in arrears after this game.
And for Phil Kessel, just 10 goals, 13 assists in the last 12 games. That, folks, is a roll.
Adri against Turris, and Kyle Turris wins the draw. Clark MacArthur. Jared Cowan under pressure from Joffrey Lupul. Senators can't get out of their own zone. They finally get the puck out to center. Anderson's heading for the bench. MacArthur stops up, and he gave the puck away trying to make a pass. He had a stick check. Cowan knocked Phaneuf to the ice. Bobby Ryan to Kyle Turris. And an errant pass again, and Kadri shoots for the open net and puts it away. And a 6-3 lead with under 30 seconds to go in a game that was a lot closer than the score indicates.
You get the feeling that Kadri almost doesn't want to go back to the bench. This is one of those plays that you miss this and you give the Ottawa Senators another chance. Thankfully, it goes to the back of the net.
What a night for Phil Kessel.
Now we're showing this just because of Elliott's picking the stars in the studio. We want him to get it right. First star of the hockey game, a hat trick. What a night. Very quiet first half of the game, but he exploded in the second half, and he's carried the Leaf team on his back.
Stole the night away from Chris Neil, who Elliott should be the second star.
We'll let him pick the third all on his own.
Disappointing night for Neil after a terrific offensive performance with 2 goals and an assist.
Tough road ahead for Ottawa, too. They're off to Pittsburgh and then St. Louis.
4 games before the break. Toronto's off to Florida on a dad's trip. And it'll be an upbeat group headed to play Florida and Tampa with a plane full of dads that'll be real happy. 9th win in the last 11 games. This team can skate and they can score. And he got 6 tonight in a big win in the Battle of Ontario.
Well, the Senators came out and took control of the game early on. Another 2-goal lead that went away as Toronto, for back-to-back games, got down 2-0 early and battled back for a huge win.
So that's it. This skirmish of the Battle of Ontario on Armed Forces Night is complete. And the Toronto Maple Leafs will salute the Armed Forces and the crowd with a 6-3 victory over the Ottawa Senators. Here's Elliott.